We've got, I think, Nimesh with us, so let's quickly head across to him and see what the chatter from dealing rooms is like. Nimesh, this is interesting, 26,000 and then a rapid decline. What are you picking up?
It's not very surprising that at record highs, you will see some bit of profit booking coming in. But again, this whole rally in the last couple of weeks has been largely backed by FI buying, and that seems to be the trend today as well. So another day of very strong FI buying, and the flows is the feedback. And within that, it's the metals which are well bid today. That explains the metal index up 3%. A lot of metal stocks are buzzing in trade. And remember, this is one sector which is relatively under-owned by the institutions. So looks like, on the back of that China stimulus, there is a bit of interest back in the metal stocks in today's market. I guess overall the sector rotation continues. So a bit of profit booking in financials after what we saw in yesterday's sales. Some of the PSUs were buzzing in trade, and on the other hand, a lot of the metal limbs are buzzing. A lot of other stocks are buzzing as well. So looks like the sector churn continues. But the broader theme seems to be that the large caps are likely to outperform the broader market stocks. So that's been the trend, and this large cap outperformance is largely on back of institutional buying. So as I said, again, another day of very strong buy interest and largely towards the metal names today.
Okay, Nimesh, in terms of individual stock chatter, what are you picking up?
Well, Prashant, looks like before the earnings season kicks in, some last leg of blocks are likely to happen very soon. We saw a large block today, car trade, nearly 9% equity got change hands. The stock recovered from the day's low after the block deal, but in terms of buyers and sellers, looks like the PE was a seller in today's block, and then domestic mutual fund was an anchor in the block as well. So again, disclosures will be quite interesting there. The second name is 5-Star Finance. As I said, looks like some large blocks are going to happen. 5-Star Finance is a stock to watch. The stock has been consolidating off late, but I understand that could be a very large block deal in 5-Star Finance very soon. The PE investor is a likely seller there. That's the buzz. The third name is SW Solar. That's been buzzing off late. The company has been bagging large orders as well. In fact, one large international order is something which series has been anticipating. But now I understand even in SW Solar, there could be a large block. Potentially a promoter entity could be a seller in that block deal. And the last is GAIL. A bit of interest is back in the PSUs of late. We saw a big rally in the metal names today. Even some other PSUs are buzzing. But GAIL stands out largely on back of large FI buying. So the delivery volumes are going to be quite high. And looks like the FI interest is back in some select PSUs, and GAIL stands out on back of buy flows.
Nimesh, that SW Solar is interesting because you're saying a promoter entity. Shapoorji is the promoter entity, and the other one group company which is coming up with an IPO is Afcons, right?
Yes.
And there was expectation that perhaps would take care of all the sort of debt, etc. here, but this is, go on.
Yeah, so you're right, Prashant. For SW Solar, that's the indication that the promoter entity is looking to sell a small block and do a fundraising via block deal. So the promoter entity is the likely seller in that SW Solar block. And as you rightly pointed out, the other group company is also coming out with an IPO. So I think that will suffice the funding requirement for the Shapoorji group.
Okay, all right, and of course that order, the Nigerian order, market's been waiting for.